gentlemen, I am so sorry. I underestimated how much my phone was not charging. I thought it was charging while I was going, and it wasn't. Okay. My sincerest apologies. I am going to go ahead and finish cutting this one out. So while I was waiting for me to be able to get a charger that actually worked from my husband, and my child brought it down to me, I went ahead and did the half that I mentioned to you before about taking the half of the snowflake and cutting it from that one piece. And I already inked it. Okay. So now I am cutting a second one. And this one is a hole. And typically these would go on opposite sides of the layout. And you'll see how I balance that later. Now, sometimes, not always, sometimes when I create 2-page layouts, I try to make sure that I have 3 of something. In this instance, I'm okay with 2. Okay, I'm totally okay with 2. But it just depends. And it may be that later on I go get an embellishment like stickles or some little enamel dots, and I add some blue ones in a corner to offset not having 3 of these snowflakes. It just depends, okay? It just depends. And the main reason I won't have 3 is I don't want to cut up all of that other paper, that blue and red that I have. I want to save some of it, and so that's why I'm electing not to cut a 3rd blue snowflake, because you'll see, let me show it to you. See, it took out one corner, and I want to be able to save this for a future layout. Okay, it's got that red on the back. Okay, so now that I've cut this out, I need to use the ink for this. Okay, so again, we're just going to ink the edges quickly. We're going to cover up the majority of those pencil lines. Now, you absolutely could take a pencil and you take your eraser and erase the pencil lines. Okay, I have actually done that more than once. Do I think it's necessary? No, I don't, because it really just kind of helps with the shading and shadowing in the corners anyhow, so I usually don't. All right, so there's my 2 snowflakes, or at least I think that's what these are. They may not be snowflakes, but that's what we're calling them. So there's that. I'm going to set that to the side. And you'll notice these are 2 different shades of blue, and that's totally okay. 2 different patterns. I wanted that, but I wanted that light blue. And now we're going to draw, we're going to trace the trees. Okay, we're going to trace the trees. So I'm going to trace the large one first. I'm going to make sure that my leaves are going the direction I want them to go. I'm trying to figure out if that's the top or the bottom. I'll be honest with you, I'm not certain. Let's see, what does it look like this way? That. Okay, we're going to guess that might be the right direction now. Okay, so we're going to pull this all the way to the edge so that we don't cut as much of the paper. Now, I will tell you, in the past, I have sometimes put it in the very middle and cut out in the middle. That way I can layer paper. I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm just going to bring it to the edge. And we're going to trace. Okay, we are going to trace. We are going to trace. Now, I could trace the inside as well and cut to give that outline effect. I'm not. I'm going to keep this one solid. Okay, we're just going to hold that down, and I'm going to move to this corner. And again, we're not looking for perfection. We are not. We are simply tracing. We're simply tracing. And sometimes they will move if you're not holding them all the way, and that's okay. I just moved it back. We're all right. Now, you do also, again, I mentioned this before, have the option of flipping a template over and cutting it on an opposite side. That way you don't have pencil lines at all. You absolutely could. And I do that sometimes. Not often, but I do sometimes. Okay, so here's that first tree. So we're done with that one. And I'm trying to decide if I want this tree to be the same. I don't... Actually, do I even need 2 trees? Let me see. I'm trying to decide if I truly need 2 trees over there. Let me hold off on this one. I may save that one for the other layout. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out. When I have large items like this or intricate, I always detach them from the rest of the paper, and that just makes it easier for me to work with. So you see, I'm just cutting around this kind of close so you don't use too much of the paper if you can salvage it for something else. Okay. So it's right here. So now I'm going to cut these out. And we are going to just go around. And This one has, you know, a little bit of straight, a little bit of curved. So typically what I do is I try to cut all of them in one direction first, okay? All in one direction first, and then I come back and cut the others. So then we're going to go this direction. Okay, hopefully you guys can see me. In the camera shot, I'm trying to make sure you're able to see me and I don't move too much. Okay, so we're going to cut like that there. And again, there's no true wrong way or right way, and I'm going to clean this up. Don't worry, I'm going to go back around in a second. Now, you certainly do not have to use this particular pair of scissors I'm using. Now, I love these. These are Tim Holtz Tonic, but you can also use Cutter Bee, and I do use Cutter Bee as well sometimes. In fact, I'm going to switch over to those to get into these little cracks in just a second here. So I'm going to go here, and we're just going to trim that. I find that the Cutter Bee are easier on my hands in terms of the grip, and they do come in a little, I guess you could say, a little easier in the small places. But when I am doing a lot of cutting, like several elements and accessories on one page, I actually prefer the black tonic ones. And that's only because for me, long-term cutting, there's more cushion on the handles of the scissors, so it seems like it doesn't hurt my hands as bad, if that makes sense. And like I said, that's only because as I've gotten older, my psoriatic arthritis has gotten worse. Okay, so we have one whole side and the bottom. I'm just going to move my little snips of paper over to the side. All right, and now we're going to come in on this side and we're going to go here. Again, not looking for perfection at all. We're just cutting it out. And you know, the sad part is that when I first started using Kiwi Lane many years ago, that's probably like the hardest part for me, was getting over the fact that it did not have to be perfect, that it was okay, that my cutting was just as great like it was. And the funny part is, it's kind of like when you hear people talk about they don't like their handwriting, so they type everything. It's kind of the same issue. I type many of my journaling boxes, but not all of them. Some of them I do use my own handwriting, but oftentimes I will, in fact, type mine and print it out. And really, that's mostly so that I can get things on the page. Like if I have a lot of words, you know, like a lot of journaling, I want to get it on the page. And I know if I write it with my handwriting, I am not going to get all the words in that little space. So it's better if I type it. So a lot of times that is why I type it, so I can get more there. But not always. But yeah, it just kind of reminds me of that when people say, oh, I don't like my handwriting, so they don't want to ever use it. Trust me, you know, when your loved ones look at it, they're going to love your handwriting just like it is, okay? Because when I look at things that my grandmother wrote, and I found them when we were helping clean out her home, I mean, I remember her handwriting. You know what I mean? I didn't care that it wasn't perfect, that the eyes were shaped weird or any of that stuff. And she had beautiful handwriting anyhow. At least I thought it was. She probably didn't like her handwriting either, but yeah, that was the least of my concerns, was her handwriting. Okay, so I have distressed this one. So now we've got these three. Okay, so we're going to place these three. And I'm still not sure which title I want to use just yet. That's coming. All right, and let me check the chat and see if anyone gave their thoughts on whether or not I should put these two under or over. Let me just check. I got to see if I can find it real quick, because unfortunately when we had our little technology snafu, it threw everything off and it closed everything out. So let me look real quick and see if I can find it real fast, because I want to honor your opinion if you listed what you thought I should do. Let's see. I'm looking. Okay, I'm looking. There it is. Sorry. I was looking all around it. Okay, so let's see. See if the chat, if it shows. Okay, yeah, I'm looking. Okay. All right, so I see a couple of other comments. So I'm going to go, oh, let's see. I think I'm going to go with underneath. That way we can see the paper. And I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive so that just in case I change my mind or there's a photo that I don't want to cut off the top, I can. Okay, so I'm just going to put like a small amount. Okay, I'm going to put that here. So there's the first one. I'm going to leave a little bit of green at the bottom so you can still see the green, making sure my arrows are down. All right, whoops. And we're just going to put that. Oh, that one moved. Hold on. Sorry. It moved because I only put that one little piece of adhesive, and I guess when I press down, I didn't press in the middle. So, all right, we're going to put that right there and press in the middle. Okay, so this side, except for the title, is done. Okay, and I'm liking this one. Memories are lined in the smell of pine. I actually like that, but here's the funny part. If I use the photos from Japan, we did not have any pine trees. Now, I can always use this and do some of my pictures from Georgia where we had snow on the ground there, and that would work. And since we cut out the tree. So I think I'm actually going to go with that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ink it, and I'm actually going to cut this down so I can use the bottom. And you're not going to see it, so I'm actually just going to cut it like this. Because I'm going to tuck it behind that one piece. Okay, so I can use this for another piece of a layout. I am all about conserving paper, okay? I love paper. I've loved paper since I was a little girl. I collected stationery long before scrapbooking was a thing. And as soon as scrapbooking became a thing in the early 90s, I was hooked, okay? I was absolutely hooked. Why? Because I loved paper and it involved paper. All right, so this is going to go right there. Okay, perfect. So you see it gives just a little bit of dimension right there. All right, so those are all down on that side for right this moment. And then we still have this side. I have 3 elements to place. So I've got my tree. I've got one large snowflake, which is going to go on the other side, and a half a snowflake. So my tree, I'm just going to put a small amount to get it where I want it. Okay, I think I want it down here because it makes it look like there's snow on the ground and it's on top of the snow. Let's go maybe here. Let's see how I like that. I think that works. Okay. I think I'm going to have the branch on top for right now. I can always move that and tuck it behind later. And I think I'm going to put, let's see, my snowflake could go here. No, that covers too much there. I've got here. I've got here. Let's see. If I pull it right about there, I could make it work. I think I like it like poked out here. Okay, I think I'm going to go there. And I do have pop dots. I'm just going to put a little piece of adhesive there for right now. And I may go back and put a pop dot there later and pop it up. Okay, so that side is done, right? So, oops, let me close my ink real quick so that doesn't dry out. Okay, so now we have this one. And I have some choices. I can put it up here, which is probably where it's going to go, just so you know. I could put it, oh, well, no, I could put it here. Now, the blue is on top of blue, but it certainly could still go there. I could put it in this corner over here. I could put it, I mean, really, I could put it anywhere. I don't want to cover up any pictures. So I think it's either going to go here or here. Let me see. Okay, so this one I have it in the middle of the page, so I could put it in the middle there. Yeah, I think I like that. I think that works. Okay, so we're going to put that here, and then I may, like I said, go back and put some enamel dots here in the middle, or some pop, Nouveau drop, something in the middle so that it's raised up just a little bit. All right, so here is the final piece. I am finished for the most part. I'll have to add journaling after I figure out which pictures for certain I'm using. So here's my title. Memories are lined in the smell of pine. Here are my photo mats. So I've got 2 3x4s, 2 4x4s here at the bottom. Okay. I've got 2 6x4s here. And I could actually put another photo here just without a mat, or I could always go back and pull in that piece of extra paper. Because remember, I had these 3 extra mats. I'm sorry, 3 extra photo mats that I can definitely use, or I can use them on a different layout. I could even use the back if I wanted to, just to add a little bit of flair in that top corner. Okay, so that is my completed 2-hour layout. Now, that took me I mean, barely an hour. But keep in mind, I'm talking to you, I'm talking through it. My kids have come through here a couple times asking about stuff. I had the technology issue, and it took me a second to decide, you know, like what title I wanted to use. But if I was by myself and I didn't have all those extra things, this probably would have taken me maybe about 40 minutes. Typically, I can get through a layout like this, tracing and designing, tracing, inking, cutting, you know, the whole shebang in about 40 minutes. But I love the way this came out. It's going to be perfect for those snow photos I have. Definitely great use of paper, lots of colors. The design flows well. And I really like it. So I hope that you enjoyed spending this evening with me. I enjoyed having you. Thank you so much for those of you that popped on and that had comments. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to see all the comments. It's like it wasn't loading, especially then when the internet started having trouble. So I will go back and look at them and comment appropriately. Thank you so much. I hope to start doing this regularly, where I am scrapbooking with you and you're able to see what I'm doing, and hopefully you're scrapbooking along too, and have some fun this spring and summer. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Feel free to subscribe and like and share this video. I was happy to host tonight, and I hope to see you all again real soon. Thank you so much, and have an amazing weekend. Bye-bye.